Hey guys, it's Dami and welcome back, strollers. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how to go from failing math to acing math. Literally, the first F I ever received was in 7th grade math. And actually, the first D that I received was in 7th grade history. I think 7th grade was just a rough point in my life. But yes, math, the bane of everyone's existence. Everyone somehow hates math unless you're like part of the 1% of the population that's like, I love math. I'm going to major in math in college. Ha, yay, good for you. Me and a lot of other people out there are not one of those people. And yes, I'm about to graduate with my bachelor's in biomedical engineering. But literally, it took me forever. But you can do it. Ever since my junior year in high school, I've actually aced every single math class that I've ever been in. I switched math classes to a higher level each year after freshman year of high school, and I ended up in AP Calc. Like how? From like one of the lowest math classes ever, all the way to AP Calc in 4 years. And this is how I did it. So, tip number 1 is to practice. You have to practice everything. And math is one of those things that if you don't get it just like that, you're gonna have to practice it to be good at it. And along those same lines, you need a growth mindset. When I was in high school, I got shown this TED Talk about growth mindset. I'll link it down below, like every single year. And it's finally in my brain. You can get good at anything if given the time and resources to get good at it, and if you believe that you can get good at it. So practice, practice, practice. Tip number 2. You have to know the why behind every single thing that you're doing in a math class. So don't just add 3 plus 2 because you were told that 3 plus 2 equals 5. You have to know why 3 plus 2 equals 5. Be able to think about it for yourself. Because if you just go on memorizing things, on the test, they're going to change things on you, and eventually you're not going to know what to do, and boom, you've already failed. And I felt like this was a huge struggle for me because I was memorizing how to do every single problem, and usually that would kind of work out on the test. But if it was like a hard class, they would switch up the question, switch up the numbers, switch up something, and then all of a sudden I didn't know what to do. And this is a big problem in engineering because they actually want you to think for yourselves. Shocker, I know. They actually want you to think for yourselves. And so none of the questions are going to be exactly like the homework problems. They're all going to have something weird about it. Some unit conversion change, some weird thing. It's going to be in the time domain instead of the frequency domain. It's going to be weird, and you're going to have to know what to do. And so tip number 2 is to know the why behind you doing everything. So tip number 3 is to be honest and ask for help when you need it. I had to go through so many like tutoring sessions, so many summer math camps because my mom just wouldn't let it rest that I was struggling in math. And so I got a ton of help. I also went to all my teachers all the time for math help. And even in college, I was always at math office hours. It's just necessary because I didn't know what I was doing, and so I needed to know what I was doing. I needed to know my why. So yeah, and because I actually didn't know the why behind why I was doing some things, there are some things in math that I still struggle with, like simplification rules with fractions. It's still a struggle because math snowballs. If you don't ask for help once, it's gonna snowball, and soon enough you're gonna have to look back and be like, wow, I didn't figure this out when it was such a tiny problem. Now it's bigger, and how do I go back and be like, I don't even know how to do it from the beginning? And so this happened to me when I was in my differential equations class. It was so much algebra, and let me tell you, like, it was so bad. I was struggling the first 2 weeks, and I finally admitted to my professor, I was like, man, you know, I don't know how to factor. And he was like shocked. He was like, this is pre-algebra. You don't know how to factor? I was embarrassed for like 2 seconds, but then he taught me how to factor. And literally, guys, when I tell you, I like passed that class with flying colors, but I wouldn't have if I never admitted that throwback to my middle school days, to my early high school days, I never learned how to factor. And look, I passed this exam with like flying colors. So you just gotta ask for help. You just gotta be vulnerable and practice. There we go. All right, guys, so that's all the tips I have for you on how to go from failing math to acing math. And I'm sure if you do these tips, I promise you, you will see a significant difference in your grades, not only in your math classes, but in every other class. Ask for help, don't let things snowball, practice, and be honest with yourself on whether you know things. And that's all I got for you. Also, watch the TED Talk on the growth mindset. It's so important for everything because everything is such a learning curve. If you're constantly comparing yourselves to people who get it like this, and you're one of those people like me who take a little bit longer to get it, and you just think, I'm never gonna be able to do it, I just wasn't born to do it, that is a fixed mindset and we need to toss it out. Toss it out, guys. That's not what we want. We want a growth mindset, right? A growth mindset where you can do anything if you practice and if you have the resources in order to accomplish that task. Stay tuned for a vlog. It's coming out soon, and see you later, strollers.